Hmm. Okay. What do we got? A gunsmith. Docks. Powder house. Fleet master. Fleet master. Fleet master sounds interesting to me. On account of maybe we're going to be sailing with ye olde fleet. Okay. Fleet Master Wakayo.
Clear skies, my friend.
He crosses his arm and tips his head to the side. A long scar traces a path down his face, curving sharply where his cheek rises with a smile. Captain Swell, Captain of the Chat at your service.
I know of you already, Captain. Maya, I assume you vouch for your new captain.
On occasion. Why?
Your ship, unmoored from Deadfire politics, is an asset I would grasp with both hands. An arrangement can help us both. You will empty the seas of competition in exchange for profit.
Okay, I'm all for privateering. Hunting ships for Rawatai, where do I begin?
This courage will win you many battles, I think. A Scylla wave skipper is your first target. A pirate shirking any pretense of lawful conduct in the open seas.
Yeah, okay.
Most excellent. Scylla commands the Voyager River Dragon, which pesters a group of islands to the southwest of Port Mage.
Before I go, I had some questions.
Ask away, my privateer. I would not have you take to the water uninformed.
Okay, you have nothing I really care about. That's... that perturbs me. These are just like randoms. Yeah, okay.
I'll get that for you.
I love that we can just like break... No. That's stealing. Leave it alone. I love that we can just break into his desk while he's standing right there. Okay, nothing down here. We have Barteno.
Beat it. I don't have time to chit-chat.
The Valians are all just such unrepentant cunts. I want to just throw them all into the ocean. You stole a pair of gloves from Dark Cupboard. Give them to me.
Not a chance, Aimiko.
He narrows his eyes.
Fasina sent you, didn't she? Postenago, just for these?
Shaking his head, he pulls a pair of fine gloves from his pocket, studying them with evident disappointment.
Soft as down, but not a single fence willing to pay me a fair price. Maybe they've got imp stink all over them.
Or maybe the stink of failure, you no-good thief. He opens his mouth to say more, but something in the southwest distracts him, and his expression fills with dread.
Here he comes, and I'm too late. If Hamuto doesn't give me an extension on my debt, I'm a dead man.
We say nothing. This could be funny, chat. A unit of steely-eyed sailors approach the docks, clutching pikes and firearms with quiet professionalism. At their head stands a tall Oumuamua with a mustard-yellow uniform. He turns his attention between you and Barteno. He dug his own shallow grave exactly.
So, Barteno, you hired a mercenary, or else a negotiator. That coin should have gone toward your debt to me.
The man rubs a long scar that extends the length of his neck.
Huh? No, I didn't. That is, I would never go behind your back.
Barteno, shut up, the adults are talking. We say nothing.
A silent mercenary at that. This is a private matter. Your interference is unnecessary.
The Oumuamua spreads his hands in a peaceful manner as his soldiers level their guns at Barteno. He can't pay up. Take him. Fair's fair. Bertano glances around, growing panic evident on his frantic movements. He freezes when one of Hamudo's men raises a gun and points it at his face.
Enough. I have work for you.
Before you go, I need the gloves Bertano stole.
No. Bertano's assets are mine to dispense with as I please.
Oh, see, that's gonna be a problem.
I'll hear no more of it.
He stole them from the wizard Arkhamir. Do you want that on your conscience?
These are Arkhamir's possessions?
He looks at Bertano with grudging respect.
I would no more incur the wrath of an archmage than I would stick my head inside a dragon's maw. There you have it. If our business is concluded at last, then I take my leave.
He nods to you and turns to leave, his soldiers ushering Bertano onward. Sucks to suck. Alright, so what are these gloves? And can I actually use them? Rakawa's fingers. +1 dex, +1 sleight of hand, and grants spark crackers. Okay, so that's, like color spray, maybe? Distracted. They kind of suck. They kind of suck a lot. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that was interesting, I suppose. It has nothing at all to do with anything involving us trying to figure out how to, you know, win the game, but, no. Game, do you wanna, there you go. Use the area transition, please. All right, take me to Queensbirth. Streets become suddenly barren. Thank you for the hydrate. The cliffs high above throw the narrow valleys and tunnels of Nekataka's ghettos into darkness, even in midday. The reek of rotten fruit mixes with the noisome scent of dead fish, swaddling you along with over 100 other filthy fragrances. Your footsteps echo in the darkness, piercing the otherwise silent slums. Just to see the grumpy turtle. He's so mad. He's just so mad. Grumpy turtle hates everyone. But especially the water cup. Grumpy turtle, get back into the frame. Being a shithead, come on now. You probably shouldn't rest your face on the water cup, that's a bad idea. My god, I had such a good angle. There we go. He's German as well. I don't actually know. Let's see, I know his name. He is Timmy the Turtle. Where was this thing made? Jellycat in London, apparently. Nice neighborhood. Maya clicks her tongue, bidding Ashiza to stay close. You turn a corner and walk into a plaintive cry. Help! Misshapen shadows mix with low hissing and the skittering of claws on filthy stone to resolve into a pack of Skulder. Their glistening maws float in the black, and cave grubs wiggle about their legs, mandibles snapping as if to mangle the air. On the far side of the creatures, a small girl, dressed in the rags of Huana, grips a gleaming sword in both hands. She brandishes it wildly at the Skulder, each swing releasing a howl that keeps the beast at bay. They creep closer to her, however, and her eyes plead with your own. Please! Use the girl as a distraction and ambush. Leave the girl to her fate. We'll draw their attention, I suppose. Swell. Swell throws himself into the crowd of Skulders, shouldering one to the ground. As it scrambles to its feet with a screeching hiss, the others turn their hungry eyes and fetid breath on you. Alright, everybody in.
Certainly.
Are these things... I don't remember if if Skuldraks are... I think they're like pseudo vampires or something. I don't know whether or not this is actually going to do anything to them. No. Not that it really matters, considering we've got so many levels on them, but still, you know. Game has intelligent evil options. Yeah, that's the thing, is like there's like the subtle evil in this. It's like, you know, we're not cackling. It's just like, no, there's this person that needs help, and we're just like, nah, she's on her own. The girl, panting before you, draped in tattered Raparo robes, wears a few bruises and cuts, but looks otherwise unharmed. Beads of sweat commingle with trickling blood on her forehead. Finally relaxing, she lowers the sword she's been swinging. Excuse me. Letting the edge rest in the dirt. The pommel bears the form of a dog's head.
Thanks, stranger. Don't think I could have made it without you.
You look like you had it handled. I just swept in to help clean up.
I doubt it, but thanks for saying so all the same. Anyway, I think you should have this. For what you did, and for what you can do with it.
She kneels, wiping the blood off the blade, and slides it into its scabbard before proffering it to you. Most water in the gullet don't have your grasp of Adiran.
That's Father's doing. He traveled all over and he insisted that I learn Adiran, Valian, and Rawatayan.
She puffs out her chest.
I even know a few phrases in Anutanic.
Thank you. I'll use this blade well.
No, thank you for coming along when you did. And what's more, for helping.
She bows her head. As you take the sword from her, she steps back. You've gained an item, Griffin's Blade.
I truly appreciate what you did. Not everyone in Nekataka steps in for a neighbor. I need to be getting back to Mother, though.
She grimaces down at one of the dead Skulder.
I probably shouldn't take home Skulder meat, should I?
Okay. I have so many questions. The one-handed sword, decent damage on it. Penetration's okay. Exceptional quality, Howling Blade. 50% chance to daze target and nearby enemies on crit, and it grants Loyal Companion. The spirit of a griffin bolsters the party's courage, granting steadfast to the wielder and allies when the wielder is bloodied. Interesting. Let's see. Plus 10% of damage with spells. Minus 10% damage taken from melee attacks. Oh. 10% action speed, 5 reflex. This is a pretty damn good sword. But is it better than all this? I don't think it is. But it's pretty good. Can you dual wield? We could dual wield. I'm gonna have Swell dual wield for now. If it's crap, we'll have him swap back to using the shield. But I'm gonna put negative 10% damage taken from melee attacks on this thing. That seems ridiculously good. I mean, I could also make it like superb quality if I wanted to, or just go straight to legendary. Take it easy, Huracut. Thanks for swinging in. Rest well. Yeah, no, we'll give dual wielding Swell a chance. See how it goes. All right, well that was cool. Little random encounter got us a nifty sword. I'm all for that. We hear a familiar voice nearby. So many encounters. As you follow the winding streets of Nekataka, the usual sounds of cartwheels against cobbles and shouting vendors fades, replaced by the cacophony of a heated argument on the verge of boiling over. One of the voices rings familiar. Eld Engrim from chat. We sneak closer to observe. As you round the corner, you see Eld Engrim surrounded by a group of unfamiliar soldiers. From their dress, you don't believe they're locals. They shout at Eld, who returns the yelling with interest, though you can't make out the actual matter of the argument. One of the sailors shoves Eld against the wall, and the hand of another lingers dangerously near their weapons. Ooh. We approach openly. Eld's eyes meet yours and widen. Captain, thank the gods, I could use a hand here. Captain, the unfamiliar sailor scowls as she looks you over. You should teach your sailors better manners. This sodden fool got sick all over our boots. Her compatriots nod, eyes searching you. We'll try to be diplomatic. I'm sorry about my mate's behavior, but I can't let you make them unfit to serve. I don't suppose an apology would suffice? We should be able to do this. A perfectly reasonable way to solve matters. Aloth looks brightly between the aggrieved parties. Leave him. Eld is one of our first guys that we ever got for our boat. No. He's ride or die. It would be like me abandoning my members of chat to some random streamer. I don't know. I wouldn't do that to y'all. You're the good ones. Not that I'd ever say that on the internet, especially not about Celt, but you know. The sailors look at one another and one nods. She looks to Eld. Let's hear it. Eld gives a sad glance to Sweld and looks back to the woman. Sorry, ma'am. What was that? The other sailor snickers. Sorry, ma'am. The woman salutes you, then turns her heel. The sailors walk away. Eld approaches you, grinning openly. Thanks, Captain. You truly saved me just now. Return to chat, sailor. Yes, Captain. Eld heads off towards the ship, whistling along the way. And immediately just gets jumped by I don't even know. Okay, there we go. The only thing I don't like about these like little scenes and stuff it's been doing is that the game goes completely silent. Like there's no audio whatsoever. Step out of the shadow and shank him with a pointy toothbrush. Damn it, Hila. No escape. See the Wild Mare, Peddler's Canal, Valian Trading Company headquarters. The shipwright. Here we go. Look at them go. Running along like they do.
It is not as easy as it seems to turn a profit in Neketaka, but there is opportunity.
Okay. Hey, Zamar, I remember
Business
you.
Comes and goes like the tide. What kind of... Oh.
This is just damn it. Okay, I'm gonna really quickly tab out and see where the hell we're supposed to go here, because this is ridiculous. As much as I appreciate this game, like, come on now. Come on. It shouldn't be this complicated. Let's see. Let's see, those are bounties. I don't really care about the bounties. The hunt for Aothis? Stranded, Veins of Aothis. What is the name of quests here? The Coming Storm. Something tells me that this guide on IGN isn't finished. Alright. Pillars. Damn it. Deadfire. The Coming Storm. Kitty demanded to be pet, gave her belly rubs. Aw, thank you, Val. I hope Artemis is doing well. Okay, so what are we doing here? Okay, so yeah, if we want to go it alone, apparently we need the Dragonwing sails and Blackwood hull, otherwise it sinks us. So to do the Huana path, I think we have to keep doing these quests here. To achieve this, the Queen wants you to blow up the powder store, the Brass Citadel, and pin the blame on the Valian Trading Company. Onikaza pledges her support, yada yada yada. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna... I guess we'll just keep going with the Huana quests, and then we'll go that route. Although apparently, there's go it alone with our ship, but there's also another way to go it alone that gets you an undead galleon. Well now. I sound drained. Yeah, I'm a sleepy boy today, Drunkbot. I'm doing okay. I had an insomnia night last night. I'm running on like maybe 2 hours of sleep right now. I'm okay. I'm all right. Just a little low energy. I'm feeling good. I'm having a good time. This looks like, all right, yeah, as interesting as that is, no, I think we're just gonna continue along the path of the Huana here. All right, speak to Guildmaster Myru and the Water Shapers Guild in Pariki's Overlook. Insomnia sucks, but yeah, exactly. Val gets it. Yeah, it's unpleasant. It sucks, but it's the way of things. That's actually why I delayed the stream today, because like I finally dozed off. I dozed off at like, I don't know, like 9:30 a.m. and I normally get up at 11 for these streams, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna give myself an extra hour to get some rest, and I'll realistically probably have a nap after the stream. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, we can't go to the Water Shapers Guild yet, so we gotta walk. Felt all sluggish and tired today. Then you went on a 50-minute jog and felt energized. That's not going to help. Yeah, no, probably not so much for me. No. I don't think I could make that. No, realistically, what I should do is just put on a pot of coffee. And, you know, suck it up. Which I might do. I don't know, we'll see. Don't mind. I'm okay. I'm alright, Brendan. Don't worry. Don't worry. I mean, realistically, it's only another, I don't know, half an hour till we call it anyways. And like wait, what? Oh, those are those are not traps. They just look really fucked compared to they're carpets. Like, I understand that, but they look completely out of place compared to the rest of the art. Weird. Sugar and a caffeine rush? Exactly. Chat will tuck me in. I don't know if I trust everyone here enough to tuck me in, Val. There are some people I'd be like, yeah, sure. Then there's Ela. Just survive off energy drinks. Yeah, that's the thing, is I don't have any.
Think anyone survived?
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Read me a bedtime story. Uh-huh. All right, yeah. Val, you can tuck me in. I trust you, especially if there's a kitty cat in it for me.
Go no further. There is a situation in the guild hall.
The Water Shaper glances over his shoulder, his chest rising and falling with deep breath.
All is under control, I say. But the building is closed until Myru cleans up the mess below.
Onikaza sent me to speak with Myru. What's happening?
Nothing beyond the likes of us, I say.
His exhaustion breaks under a proud grin.
Naga swam in from the waterways of our sanctum. We pressed back until they fled underground. Then Myru gathered her forces for a stand at Pariki's tomb.
Artemis came to cuddle you this morning, so you had to hit snooze. I can respect that. Totally respect that.
I am to guard the staircase while she routs the last of them. Ye Kira, but Myru is fierce for her years.
Yeah, I knew Germans had some fucked up children's stories, Ela. I knew about the story about the kid who starves because he doesn't want to eat his soup. The one with the giant scissors cutting off thumbs, though, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. Okay, why haven't you summoned help from the queen?
We are water shapers. Onakaza knows we can walk over a few snakes. Myru, though, I say she would not turn down reinforcements.
I hope she leaves something for me.
I say you will have to run fast. She could cut through Naga like a harpoon through blubber. I will remain and dispatch any snakes who slither past you. Good hunting.
Oh boy. I'll take all the help I can get, I guess. Let us be off and guide. What does this have to do with anything? He nods towards the stairwell. The game is slowly falling apart the further we get into it, I think. This is beginning to worry me. It's beginning to worry me strongly. And a quick save for cowardice.
It's like a model of Nekataka. Pretty. Ugly below.
The stone door is sealed shut. A few engraved symbols stand out amongst the other carvings and inscriptions. Apart from that, you find no evident means of opening the way. A faded inscription is nestled amongst the elaborate stone carvings. Read the inscription. Wana runes decorate the stone entrance. Ngati would not have gifted her chosen people a watery covenant unless they persisted in deserving it. The sanctum is a covenant of our making. Only the sigil of the covenant and the words of my devotion will open the way. Alright, so we need a sigil and some words. It's a shame I can't just bomb it open. Or have a Loth fireball it open. Hello, Naga. Oh. They're a tad outmatched. Okay, just a bunch of junk.
Curse on all snakes.
Was that her? Yeah, that's her.
Yeah?
That's how you know it's a good game, exactly. Exactly.
I'll have
There's a story called Hackety Peg. Summary is: kid named after the days of the week led a witch, and despite their mother's warning, got turned into food. Mother then tricks the witch into releasing him. Huh. That's cool. The guildmaster lifts her gaze to meet yours, her eyes struggling to focus. She's been slashed and stabbed numerous times, and her robes are soaked red with blood.
Too many, even for me.
Onakaza sent me to find you, but I think you need a healer
No
first.
time for that, I say.
Literally a paladin. I can just like poke you and you're healed.
The rod of the deep. Ugh, I've lost it. Taken. You'll need to...
She coughs, spitting up blood. For every word she struggles to voice, her breaths get progressively shallower.
Find the rod. Get through the stone door by the entrance.
Stop exerting yourself or you'll bleed out.
Don't you think I know how much water I've lost?
She grimaces up at you, the color draining from her face.
Warmth. Failing. Hurry, before it escapes.
She gives you a bleary look as her focus begins to slip away. Let me heal this woman. Like, games that do this annoy me. Like, this is, I shouldn't say games that do it annoy me. When games do this, it annoys me. You're already gone. Find peace in the beyond.
Pitied Isengati, Lady of Lament, as the pearl orb of the heavens.
She wheezes as she struggles to get the words out. It doesn't sound like she's even addressing you any longer. Her eyes glaze over and she falls silent. Except I could just have Goldleaf cast Resurrection on her, but instead I'm gonna loot her body. Yoink. The guild master. Her guild members come down later and they find her body completely stripped down to its skivvies. And they're like, what the fuck did these adventurers do? Use one of your 99 fees. Yeah, exactly, Hila. Exactly. It's the opposite of plot armor.
The wheel, how it tugs at me. Akira, and how bright you look.
Myra's attention snaps towards a distant speck of light, but she shakes it off to remain in the moment.
At least in death, I can complete a thought.
She grimaces down at her swiftly diminishing body.
My rod and the words of Pariki's devotion will open the way to the inner sanctum, past the sealed door.
She closes her eyes and concentrates.
Pitied is Ngati, Lady of Lament. As the pearl orb of the heavens crosses her view, her eyes well with tears, as constant as rain. But the moon's skyward journey continues apace, the lover's affection as ephemeral as fingers touching.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just screenshot that really quickly. Where's paint? Let me paste, please. Windows, do you wanna open paint for me? Maybe? There you go. Okay. Alright, so now we've got that. She opens her eyes again and nods as her form grows indistinct.
You must strengthen the wards, no matter what it tells you.
Thank you, Myru. Rest well. Her mouth moves again, emitting no sound. As she fades from sight, she raises her hand to point towards the entrance of the sanctum. Okay, narrative and gameplay separation like that irk you too. Like when Final Fantasy V handled, they tried everything to save Galuf and it didn't work. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Like, if you want to kill off a character, that's fine. But it's kind of hard to have like a character death be super impactful in a setting where things like resurrection magic are present, right? Like, you know, the Baldur's Gate games and stuff. Gorion, for example, in the first Baldur's Gate, he was a harper. He was clearly well-known and well-loved. Why didn't somebody just pay to have some cleric come and cast Raise Dead on him after he got murdered? Like, that kind of stuff. The statue depicts an Oamwa woman, her hand extended and grasping in the air. An eroded plaque sits by her feet. Something about the statue calls out to you, the echo of a fractured soul that tarries in place for long and thoughtful years. You feel victory tinged by grief and regret. Swell holds the statue's hand. You grasp her hand with tenderness. At first nothing happens, but then a tiny droplet of water forms at the corner of her eye and rolls down her cheek, dripping on the floor. Wipe away the tear. You reach out and dry your thumb down the statue's cheek, wiping away the trail of moisture. For a moment, the stone feels soft to the touch. You inspect the soul. Your vision bobs with the motion of the sea. You stand aboard the deck of Swiftwinds, where your mates share bemused, self-congratulatory glances as they work. One of them claps your back with approval. Shake off the gesture. You step back and aim a reproachful look at your mate, however friendly his intent. You know there will be a time for reprieve when you're squared away at Neketaka. Something cuts through the water to your port side, an enormous shape just beneath the waves. Someone shouts that the winds have turned in your favor at last. This is followed by an enthusiastic cheer amongst the crew. You don't share their mirth. Eyes to the horizon, I say. You bring home a mighty gift, though it takes an unusual form, one that you pray to Ngati you are able to keep in check. The vision dissipates, and your land legs reassert themselves. We read the plaque. The words are much eroded and water damaged, but a few choice snippets of phrase stand out with clarity. Pariki, lore and hunter, cross the length of and back again. Bird for cunning deal, Lafus, may her rest utility soul Edom. Nothing about the plaque stands out as remarkable. Okay. Oh, let's see. Catching up with chat. Hand wave it with a plague of mystical origin that can negate Raise Dead. Easy way is that there's no soul to call back, be a demon or god claiming the soul. And when someone died in our Curse of Strahd campaign, I had their characters from another campaign stumble upon the scene to cast Revive. Jesus. Oh, you gotta just let them stay dead, Val. You gotta let them just stay dead. Not everybody survives. I understand that it's kind of different with like newer editions of D&D though, and that it's like kind of leaning more towards the direction of like the narrativist gameplay though.
No. Let us end this. Fall back.
But yeah, you can also do like the you just can't be raised because of, you know, gods and stuff. For my part, generally speaking, I'll talk with a group beforehand and just flat out ask them, do you want there to be resurrection magic in this campaign? And if they say like, no, we want death to be death, then I just don't have resurrection magic in the campaign. And that's worked pretty well for me so far. Have a cat show up with a healing potion. Yeah, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I can't remember who it was. You just triggered a memory in me, Elil. There was somebody in chat who was running a game for their significant other, and they had like an army of pigs or something. Was that you, Elil, by any chance? This was like probably years ago.
As you wish.
Want it to be exclusive to annoying NPCs. Oh god, that wasn't you? Oh, that's gonna bug me. I feel like it was one of the regulars. Always have the players roll up elves. I don't think that that's a thing in modern D&D anymore. It was actually an NPC they recruited, and it was kind of funny. I mean, like, that's the other thing is, you know, it's on a per group thing. Like, personally, I prefer, like, if a character dies, if my character dies, I prefer that they stay dead. But that's because then I get to make another character, and I do very much enjoy, you know, that creative opportunity. But at the same time, I've also been on the receiving end of, like, you know, you make a first level character for a game, you get into your first fight, and the first attack is a critical hit and it kills you. I've had that happen before, and that kind of feels a bit shitty. Had a halfling with her horde of sheep, nice. That might have been it, actually. I haven't really had to deal with a lot of player death so far. If a player is attached to a character, plot up a quest to have them revive. Like, yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing is, like, yeah, if you want to do something like that, I think that's more interesting than, well, we'll just go to the temple and pay, you know, 1,000 gold pieces or whatever to have our characters raised. The tunnel descends sharply into waters. There's no telling how far... Oh my god, let me look at this thing. How far into the mountain it goes. This is the first you've mentioned it? Okay. It was an army of, like, barnyard animals. Or like, boars or something. They might have been playing, like, a druid. I don't know. It was, like, their first game of D&D. I wonder if it was Leahy. It might have been Leahy. But finally got to play as Paul and immediately died. Oh, no! Paul deserves so much better. Put the god of the dead into a headlock until they cry uncle and release. Yeah, see, like, something like that's interesting. That's interesting to me. Alright. Touch the door with the rod of the deep hunter and begin... Oh, the door reacts once the stone panel shifts aside to reveal a circular dial engraved with symbols. It's a locking mechanism requiring a precise combination. Alright, manipulate the dial. So I assume it's alright. Pitied is Ingati, Lady of Lament, then a pearl orb in the heavens, eyes well with tears, moon's sky onward journey, and then lover's affection. So, Pitied is Ingati, Lady of Lament. Who the hell is Ingati, though? And, like, what is the order that we want these to be in? Alright, let's go counterclockwise. I assume Ingati is the fish. Eek. One time we tried playing Traveler, I had a character die in character generation. It's a feature, not a bug. One thing I think it could give Resurrection Teeth is it makes you less human each time with the flavor disguided by the School of Magic until eventually there's nothing of you left. I mean, you could do that. They kind of do that where, like, if you're resurrected with, like, Raised Dead and stuff, you, like, lose a point of Constitution or whatever. But once you get to higher levels, like, that is not something that's unmanageable. In older editions, we had system shock rolls where you'd get raised from the dead and then you'd have to roll a percentile based on your constitution, and if you, like, flubbed the roll, basically what would happen is you would come back from the dead and then just immediately die again because it was so traumatic on your body. I've seen God damn it, Hila. I've seen people that will have the cleric like roll a caster level check when they raise the dead, and they get a bonus based on what raise spell they use, and you have to hit like a target number or the raising fails. And then, I mean, you've also got the stuff like, you know, soul-stealing daggers and all that. Like, there are a lot of ways around it. It's just, it's one of those things that, for me, realistically, it's not an issue too much, because most of the games that I run tend to stick lower levels. And even the highest level ones, I think the highest level campaign I've ever run was like level 13 or 14, maybe? And I mean, at that point, you would have Resurrection as a cleric in newer editions of D&D. But that was a case of like the party was at that level for like a session or two. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. Wild Divine Magic, oh god. Yeah, that's correct, BG Noise. You gain Constitution as hit points until you hit like name level for your class, which is, yeah, like 9th or 10th. And in newer editions, you just gain it for all of the levels. All right, let's press the dial. You hear a grating mechanical clunk of stone setting in place behind the door. Okay. All right, so Pearl Orb of the Heavens. So I assume that's the moon here. Press the dial. All right, her eyes well with tears as constant as rain. Press the dial. But the moon's skyward journey continues. Press the dial. The lover's affection is ephemeral as fingers touching. Press the dial. You hear clattering and whirring as the dial recedes into the door. There's a low rumble as the doorway opens inward, revealing a dark, narrow tunnel beyond. I'm a genius. Praise me. In my current campaign, the party was this close to a TPK, which only didn't happen because I didn't read the stat block right. Ooh, I've been there before. They would have been saved by a deity had they been in contact with it. It was the whole plot point of them regaining strength. It didn't happen, and I was sad. Aww. Aww, you tried. The air beyond the passage is humid, reeking of stagnant water and something else. Something old, which raises the hairs on the back of your neck. The stank of Bengay and embalming fluid flows forth. As you take your first step, an ear-splitting roar raises in volume and echoes down the passage, shaking the surrounding rock. Go through anyway. You navigate the dark, narrow tunnel, pressing your shoulders together to fit the passage. Hail Coast, hail him with great... Oh! We found our first dragon, chat. And he's a biggin'. As the massive upheaval of water settles, the air thickens with oppressive humidity. It takes a moment for your eyes to adjust before you can make sense of the shape that breached from the depths.
How in all Aora have they kept it down here?
Time for kissing!
Oh, this would be a great fishing story.
Ishi, down. This is no time to pick a fight. Of course I know you can take him.
Have you come to deliver me from this prison of my own making?
The dragon flares his nostrils and glares at you. I love that we can just yell dragon. Let me get my bearings first. Who are you?
I am Skirilophus, Guardian of the Isles.
He slaps his tail against the floor.
You ever consider a nickname?
He narrows his eyes at Adair.
Just give it some thought, is all I'm saying.
I take it you're the one causing the whole city to shake?
You do not see chains around me, but I am confined all the same. One by one, every link shatters. You can only be here for one reason. You serve the Huana.
His eyes narrow into slits.
This prison is built on a foundation of their lies.
What are you talking about?
You stand in the sanctum of the Water Shapers, those who make parlor tricks of Ngati's art, an art in decline. The Huana Covenant has failed. With each grain of sand surrendered to outsiders, Ngati draws her favor away from her chosen people.
What covenant is that?
One struck in a different time, when the gods showered devotion on Huana. The guild hides how their acolytes struggle. Their ancestral forms no longer respond as they once did. Soon, there will be no Water Shapers to remember them.
I like what I'm hearing so far.
Daughter of the West, what I intend for the Huana is nothing to what I will inflict upon your fleet. When their mighty talent went into decline, I gave the Huana the strength to raise the very sea against our enemies. For my generosity, they bound me to this chamber by my soul.
Oh, damn.
And now the Deadfire dies in my absence. The luminous Adra shrieks in agony, calling out for a guardian.
Read the dragon's... Oh, yeah, we gotta read the dragon's soul. Your soul is stuck here. Let me take a look.
You are a watcher. Of all the kith who could have entered this chamber, how intriguing.
Submerging in the dragon's soul feels at first disorienting, like perusing, good god, the stacks of a vast library. Definitely trust the dragon. I mean, thus far, the dragon has not attempted to kill me. Thus far, the dragon has been cordial, well-spoken. The dragon has a nice voice. He's got a lot of points in his favor right now. The Water Shapers are just wizards, and they're kind of dicks. The energy and vibrancy that should color his soul is gray and worn. From the shadows, a dark, formless thing reaches out to you in desperation. On the other hand, loot and kissing. Shit. Loot and XP, rather. Loot and XP is a very strong motivator for me. Very, very strong motivator. What if... I was gonna say... we'll see what we can do here. We'll try to finesse the dragon. The wards around the stone floor drag the essence down and disperse its energy elsewhere to the Water Shaper students of Neketaka. As it touches you, the weight of the prison is like an anchor. You withdraw from the sensation, feeling shaky and depleted. You can kiss the dragon. Oh my god, no. No, Hila, no. The trick is to get both. You get the loot and the kissing. Make friends and... Exactly! Hila gets it!
Fresh meat.
Oh, hey, Shmoop is here. Hey, Shmoop, welcome in. Thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate it. You missed it, Shmoop. We beat the game. Now we're just doing extra stuff. I've looked into your soul. It's true.
Believe what you will. My duty to the archipelago is all that matters.
So is mine. And it involves aiming a cannon between your eyes.
Would you give me Tangaloa's kiss? I might welcome it.
He's talking about kissing, chat.
Freedom comes like the tide, and the Deadfire heeds my call. I sense a rod among your belongings.
He narrows his eyes and watches you carefully.
My gift to Periki, my covenant with the Huana. Another broken promise. It made the enchantments of this prison and can destroy them. It can set me free.
What faction did I choose? Well, the victory that we didn't go with any factions. We went it alone. Right now we're working with the Huana. Val's got it. I sense a rod, or are you just happy to see me? Absolutely both. So what is this? Arcana? What happens to your captors if I do as you ask?
The Huana have chartered their doom. I will not mourn their passing. Neither will I speed it along while they stand against the foreign tide.
He's being very reasonable, chat. He's being so reasonable.
That's a pity. I was about to suggest we make a deal.
My concerns are greater than your petty squabbles over land.
Onakaza would have me kill. She would try. Counter offer. I leave here with your head. Dang. Alright, let's see if there's another way. Onakaza would have me killed if I set you free. There has to be another way.
Is your loyalty to a queen of lies so steadfast? She may not know of me, but she is complicit in this crime all the same. You owe her nothing.
She doesn't even know he exists? Ooh. I have questions.
I will tolerate your curiosity.
What if we excise the imprisoned portion of your soul from the rest?
No, my soul is not for the taking. Not by you, or any of the outsider spirit thieves.
It can be done without harming you, I just need to inspect the wards. He lets out a distasteful hiss.
Very well. I give you one chance. Time has weakened the wards enough that I can leave this cell without you. There will be a debt of pain that I have no wish to incur. Betray me, and I will summon as many waves of Naga as it takes to shatter this prison.
Okay. Alright, I don't know what it actually wants me to do here.
I shall.
Alright, a raised wardstone stands from the watery floor. The runes engraved along its surface glow with pale light. Inspect it. Enchantment coursing through the stonework. Keep the dragon tethered on the spot and siphon energy from his soul. The spells of imprisonment look more recent. The siphoning enchantment merely sips at the dragon's essence and disperses it elsewhere. You could use the stored essence, enough to last decades or longer if used responsibly. Okay. Try to siphon enough of the dragon's essence to empower the guild and break the imprisoning ward? The enchantment slips through your fingers in spite of its advanced age and depleted state. Clearly, someone built this prison to resist any potential meddling. Okay, then we're gonna leave it. This one, same thing. Okay, so it looks like we're not gonna be able to do that, I don't think.
I make no promises to cooperate with your animancy games.
He's so chill, though. Save game. Saved.
I'm here. I'll handle this.
No, there we go. Yeah, we can't. I don't think. Alright, in that case, we're going to disable it. We're letting him go. The runes crackle as the power dissipates. In seconds, their light is extinguished, and the shapes of each arcane sigil lose definition until they fade into obscurity.
I can feel the weight of this pit diminishing around me. Do not stop now.
Patience, I'm getting to it.
The next ward. Make haste.
Do it with the bird. No. Swell, come on.
I'll take care of this.
Alright. Disable it. Disable it. And disable it. Cyoralephus blinks down at you and rolls his shoulder as if for the first time.
The burden of this prison is lifted. I will return to the beloved Atra.
We say nothing.
Should your hopes darken on the high seas, you will feel a welcome chill as my shadow passes over your deck. Depend on it.
Ooh. Ooh, I think we have a dragon bro. Sai beats his wings, lifting his massive form above the ground of his watery prison. He stretches open his jaws and roars, the ensuing blast blowing out the top of the prison, exposing it to the sky above. For the first time in untold years, natural light floods the interior of the chamber. He snaps his wings a second time, flying through the exit with wild abandon, tilting at reckless, unpracticed angles as he builds incredible speed. When he emerges, shrieks of horror and dismay grow in volume. Moments later, as he passes out of view, you hear an explosion of splintered wood, upheaved water, and an incredible devastation on the southwestern corner of the island. And now the game's like, now you need to go talk to the queen. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. And we're just gonna leave. You guys didn't see anything. Nope, not a thing. We also got the Rod of the Deep Hunter, which is apparently... kind of garbage. Alright. What's a bit of devastation? Exactly. Val gets it. Val understands. We have a dragon bro now. And on that note, I think this is probably as good a time as any to finish up.